I've been having quite a few customer conversations recently, and I've also been taking time out of my day to have very real one-to-one conversations with people in our team. And something that I'm realizing across all of these conversations, which include board members and investors as well, is that there really is a sense of fatigue in the market right now. And the interesting thing is the fatigue is not coming from work specifically. It's actually general life fatigue. There's a lot on people's plates right now. People are at home juggling family, juggling kids, juggling work in a way that they've never had to juggle it before. Things that were really easy for us to go and do before now require thinking two steps ahead about wearing a mask and how am I going to handle that situation when I'm there, and how am I going to handle the people socially around me. People are having to make really big decisions about their elderly parents that they're looking after and schooling for their kids in the fall. And there's a lot of that just general life fatigue happening right now. And myself and Tracy, in a previous episode, I actually spoke about this. We gifted the team a week off, but coming back, I realized for myself personally that that week was kind of just a band-aid on the problem, and that there's something much bigger here. And so as leaders, it is really critical that we actually take the time out to ensure that the most basic of systems are in place that can act as a skeleton and a backbone, and therefore a buffer to our teams to ensure that they're actually able to navigate this general life fatigue that is happening right now. And there's three very clear things that Tracy and I revert to at all times in situations like this. And we call it our sanity tools, because these really are the things that keep us sane on a day-to-day basis and enable us to really move through very difficult periods of time. And at the same time, we also know that there's recurring symptoms that happen in people. And so a few of the things that we should be looking out inside of our teams, and even to us as leaders, if we're recognizing these things in our own life, is first of all, concentrating becomes that much harder. It is significantly harder. You'll be sitting in front of your laptop or your computer or your phone even, and you'll find yourself hopping between things, but not actually concentrating. And you'll get down to like the third or fourth thing, and you're like, hang on a minute, I was actually there like 5 minutes ago, but I never actually finished what I started there. So that's one of the first things. One of the second things is actual technology addiction. I saw one of our team members recently wrote about this on her LinkedIn page, where she said she actually had to go and delete some of her work applications off of her phone because she found herself compulsively checking them the whole time. That's definitely a sign of that. And then there's just a general sense of busyness. If you find yourself sitting down and unable to actually mentally shift gears away from work or away from the fact that you don't have certainty around your child and not able to disengage from that and actually move on to a different thing, that's a very clear symptom that this general mental fatigue is settling into your life. And so those would be three of the primary symptoms. Some of the more deeper symptoms that really start signaling that this is a red flag is when this starts impacting your team members' ability to sleep. And then also when you see very, very clearly that there's a general sense of real tiredness. People are not able to output as much as they should at work, and it really is actually starting to impact. So when it starts moving into those two things, you know that you're in red zone. And so the three tools that Tracy and myself regularly revert back to in cases like this is, first of all, the very simple concept of a master list. Both of us have been speaking about this for years, and it is something that we onboard our teams into when they join our company. It is really important to have a single place where every piece of information that's coming into your brain during the day has a place to go and download itself. And so you need to have this dumping ground, if I could call it that, where everything that's bombarding you that may be important in some shape or form is a place where you can actually go and put that down. And so both myself and Tracy have this list called the master list. And for example, I may be typing away researching product launches or, product marketing or something like that. But all of a sudden I remember, oh, I need to fax some healthcare form about my little boy through to, some doctor somewhere. And so I realized that that's a distraction coming in. I'm able to just go and put it on the master list. And at the end of the day, I'm then able to take that and distribute it between wherever it needs to go to ensure that it gets done. But I'm allowing it to enter my brain and then go and park it somewhere else. And so we need to teach ourselves, and we need to teach our teams to constantly be cleaning our brains out to allow ourselves the freedom to work. The second thing is one of the hardest things for people to do, but it really is so critical to our survival today. And that's full-time technology disengagement, where we need to give ourselves and our teams permission to completely disengage. And so coming back to that example of one of our team members who completely deleted the apps off of her phone, I was so happy when I read that message on LinkedIn, because I was like, yes, this is health. This is somebody who is taking control of their mental fatigue and is coming at it with a really positive solution that will ultimately benefit us as an organization as well as herself. And so we need to, as leaders, lead in that capacity. And then the third thing that works extremely well is we need to give our teams time off. We need to allow them the freedom to actually take a full 24 hours every single week. Something that I was raised on, something that my parents really drilled into our lifestyle as a family, was that one day a week needs to look and feel completely different to the rest of the week. And that's going to be different for every single person in the household, because every person has had a different kind of a week. Some people may need to get into nature. Some people may need to sleep for their entire day. Some people may need to play the whole day and get rid of energy that's been stored up in their body. And so what that looks like and feels like needs to be free, and everybody needs to be able to manage that day on their own, in their own way. But ultimately, it should be fun. It should be a release to them, and it should be something that they actually actively look forward to. And so my challenge to you is to, as a leader, take these small but critical steps. Lead, follow them, implement them into your own lives, but then more importantly, give your teams the freedom and the ability and the permission to implement these things into their lives as well.